Relationships before marriage. Q. I am 36 years old this year, so-called the prime age for marriage is passing. I was considering marriage, but one day my mother told me that she asked you about my marriage, and you said that I am still a long way from getting married. Is it because I haven't fulfilled myself yet? Or because it just isn't my time yet? A. Is there someone that like you? Yes, there is. Have you interviewed her? I don't know what kind of interview you are talking about. Let's learn about it today. You haven't learned to evaluate yet. If someone who doesn't know how to differentiate meets someone and lives together, you will separate for sure. If you meet as spouses but are not living correctly, you will definitely separate. The best way for our youngster is not to fail at marriage. What is the purpose of finding a spouse? The reason a man is looking for a woman is because of principle of yin and yang. Men have the power of yang but lack the power of yin, and therefore lack of wisdom. So men need wisdom of women. Women may seem powerless, but they have the ability and power of wisdom. Men have power, but they lack the wisdom. Men face society first and do all the difficult work and save some money. Women come along and spend the money together. That is why women make their appearance afterward. You have to understand the reason why you want to meet woman. You should meet a woman after knowing the right reason and studying. It is okay to date, but marriage should happen after some studying. So don't think that you have to get married right now. But it is okay to date a nice person. However, if you marry out of greed, then this become a problem. To marry, you have to prepare by looking for any incompatibilities between the two of you and treat her with her best interest in mind. You have to spend at least 3 years making an effort in this. This is grand nature's law for men and women meeting. You might not have to follow it, but at least I have to tell you about it. We are living in 3 dimension. If you want to befriend someone, you have to cherish and love them for at least 3 years. You have to cherish them and find out their strengths and weaknesses, which will become evident during the 3 years. Their weaknesses may be something that you can help with, or if it is too great, it may be too much for you to handle. You have to think about these things. You also need to look at their strengths and see if it is something that you can help with by improving their strengths so that it will shine even more. If you observe them by cherishing and making efforts for 3 years, then you both will never separate. This is how you live for each other. People are separating nowadays because they don't evaluate each other correctly. You need to evaluate others very well in the beginning. For instance, like promising to go to a theater and travel to other countries at least many times a year. Depending on how well the two of them arrange this in the beginning, is the key to not fighting later on. Another example that if they forget to put all this kind things in the arrangements in the beginning, then they would fight each other not because of themselves, but the brother-in-law is giving them a hard time. They didn't bring the issue of a brother-in-law up during the interview while coming to an arrangement. They should have come to an agreement about the brother-in-law. That is why you have to go to your partner's home during the 3 years to observe. You also have to know well whether or not you are marrying the partner or marrying into the family. Marrying into the family means that you are going to that family's home. It also means that you will be living together with your partner's family members. Then you need to conduct some advanced family surveys by asking yourself, if you can endure the environment in the home, you need to find out whether there is any troublemakers in the household. You should find out about these things so that you will know if you are able to handle them. Men will always entice, so men will not mention anything bad and only show the good side. So men entice the women to marry. If so, at this present days, all this will be discovered and will be considered a fraud. She might accuse the husband of fraud for not telling her these things before marriage. If this happens, then you have to separate. Therefore, you have to make an effort for the other party for at least 3 years. Don't be greedy. You will separate from each other as much as you are greedy. If you live for the benefit of the other party, the person can't leave you. Spend 3 years like this for the benefit of other party, then other person will spend the rest of their life for you. So I am saying that it is not too late to marry after you have studied these things first. So don't be greedy, but use some wisdom to discuss with your partner and go forth. Then you will never separate. This is things are so young people should not marry so hastily. You need to find a partner who will benefit each other. Therefore, you and your partner future will unfold and live a fabulous life. So far, the text you've provided appears to be a philosophical or cultural perspective on relationships and marriage. It seems to draw from traditional views, particularly emphasizing the concept of yin and yang and the roles of men and women in a relationship. Here's a structured analysis and summary of the key points. Core themes. Evaluation before marriage. The text strongly advocates for thorough evaluation of a potential spouse before committing to marriage. It suggests a period of 3 years to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, family dynamics, and compatibility. This evaluation aims to reduce the likelihood of future conflicts and separations. Purpose and role in marriage. According to the text, men and women have complementary roles based on the principles of yin, feminine wisdom, and yang, masculine power. Men are seen as facing societal challenges and earning money, while women are portrayed as wise and influential in managing resources and household decisions. Family dynamics and commitment. The importance of understanding not just the partner, but also their family is emphasized. Prospective spouses should consider if they can adapt to and endure their partner's family environment, which includes dealing with potential troublemakers or difficult family members. Premarital arrangements and promises, setting clear expectations and agreements on aspects like leisure activities, handling external family influences like a brother-in-law, and overall lifestyle can prevent disputes later on. Failure to address these issues initially is likened to fraud, leading to possible separation. Marriage as a selfless commitment. The advice concludes that marriage should not be entered into out of greed or self-serving motives. A successful marriage is depicted as one where both partners commit to benefiting the other, suggesting that such selflessness binds the partners more strongly and durably. Cultural context. The advice is deeply rooted in a traditional understanding of gender roles and responsibilities, which may not align with more contemporary egalitarian views on marriage and partnerships. It also reflects a philosophical or spiritual dimension, indicating that these roles and rituals are not merely social, but are seen as part of a larger cosmic or natural law. Practical advice. For individuals considering marriage, the text advises a deliberate and careful approach, emphasizing long-term observation, mutual understanding, and clear communication about expectations and roles within the relationship and the extended family. This summary captures the essence and key advice of the original text, which aims to guide individuals toward more thoughtful and intentional marital relationships.